Hi, Terry. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, Jack. It's good to talk to you again, my friend.
Good talking to you too. Thank you for coming on and talking to my channel. Really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Perfect. You
Yeah.
bet.
This is our third interview. This will be our third.
Third.
Yeah.
Wow. I feel right at home now. I feel
Yeah. Thank you.
okay.
Little bit back, going back to when we met. First time we met was in Saskatoon. I came out to try out for your team, and you were my coach. That's the first time
Yeah.
we met.
Yeah. Long time ago,
Yeah,
Jack.
this is a
It's
long
a long
time
time ago.
ago. Yeah, and it's a
If I
great
did if I
memories.
did if I did something bad, I'm sorry.
No, not at all. You were awesome as a coach. You were a player's coach. I really enjoyed playing for you.
Thank you,
Thank
Jack.
you.
I appreciate that very much. Thank
Thank you.
you.
You're welcome. Yeah, I wanted to ask you. So, you were captain of many teams. Every time I looked, had the C on your chest. Out of all the years, how many of those years in your career were you captain on teams? Like
Well,
total years.
I was the captain in junior Swift Current with the Swift Current Broncos,
Mhm.
and then I went to Houston. And I had a captain there named Ted Taylor, and he was a great captain. Man, had so much respect from all the team, from all the guys in the team. He was just a hardworking guy that came to play, and no nonsense guy. He'd get into your face
Mhm.
and tell you what to do and how to do it, which I really respected. Um, and then he kind of got a little bit older than retired, and they gave me the captaincy there. I went to Winnipeg. I was assistant captain there because they already had their captain situated there in Winnipeg. Went to Chicago, and Keith Magnuson was the captain there, and he retired. His knees just gave out on him. He couldn't do it anymore in the training camp, and then they made me the captain, which I was really surprised at because I just came in from Winnipeg, and
Mhm.
I played some games, and they made me captain, and I was flattered for that because as the original 16 team in Chicago, they made me captain. I was really flattered.
Mhm.
First time in my life I got traded. I went to LA. I was there for a year, and then after that, they made me the captain
Wow.
there also. And then from there, I was a free agent. I went to my team. The guy that's the coach in Chicago. God dang, my memory's good. Just that it's real short. Um, EJ. EJ, he was a goaltender. He was also the coach in Chicago. Well, he was a general manager in Pittsburgh. I was a free agent, and Mary Lemieux was there,
Mhm.
and he wanted me to come and kind of mentor him a little bit. And I went there, and Mike Bullard was the captain there, and he was a good captain too, and a good
Mhm.
guy. After a year, they made me captain there also.
Wow.
So I was very fortunate, and I was very fortunate to have that opportunity to be captain and kind of have a leadership role on the team. And it made me work a little bit harder and make me know that the players around me, if they had any trouble, that they felt very comfortable coming towards to me and expressing themselves, either playing time that I talked to the coach or something else off the ice that was hampering their performance on the ice.
Mhm. Do you think you're the only player in the NHL that had been captain on every single team they played for? That's a good statistic to ask.
Yeah, I was counting Houston. I'm the only guy that was the captain of four teams in the professional ranks. I'm the only guy to do that.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, yeah. I feel honored and I feel
Yeah.
privileged. It was nice to know that that's it. But yeah, that it's kind of
Yeah.
flattering to know that.
For a lot of fans that don't know much about captains, what is a captain? What's like responsibilities, things that they would do out there?
Well, I think this is my perspective of being a captain. A good captain is always having the guys back during the game.
Hmm.
My feeling is somebody did something wrong, and Chief Shot, one of my teammates, that didn't really was the type of person that would go ahead and face the guy and have the altercation. I felt it was my job to do that, to make sure that my player wouldn't have that to go through again. So I'd always have their back on the ice, but I always have their back off the ice too. I was a kind of mediator between myself and the coach.
Uh huh.
Um, if the guy didn't get much ice time and he was kind of didn't want to go to the coach, I went to the coach and I'd ask him why so the guy wouldn't get into trouble, and I would, try to pitch for the guy to get more ice time because he was my guy on the ice, and he was the guy that I had to take care of.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's times where the guy's performance on the ice wasn't up to expectation, not for the team's expectations and the players' expectations and the coaches. So I'd get, after practice, I'd be in a situation where I'd take him off for lunch and we'd talk, and all of a sudden I said, "What's going on?" And then he'd kind of spill his guts, either marriage problems or maybe having problems at home with his parents or something, financial. But then it would be my responsibility to try to ease that problem for him, by talking to the coach or the general manager to help him to get back on the right track so we'd win hockey games. And that was the most important thing, is for us to win hockey games.
Yeah.
There's one time, Jack, in Pittsburgh, we had like 10, 11 days off. It was right in the middle of the season. And I don't know how, it was All-Star break, so I don't know how it happened, but it was, or maybe it was the Russian, U.S. tournament or, matchup that they always have. But we had a long tournament, and the guys come up, he says, we got to get some days off. And I went up to the coach and I said, we like to have some days off. He goes, well, it's the middle of the season. I said, what do you expect? I said, 4 days off, 3 or 4 days off.
Yeah.
He goes, come on, are you kidding me? This is middle. I said, have the guys not played hard for you? And he goes, yeah, they have. I said, if I get them to promise after 4 days to coming back that they'd work their butt off for the next 6 days to get back into where they should be and start the actually second season after that. He's, oh, Terry, I don't know, man. I don't know. Go find it from the players. So I went down. I said, guys, if I can give you 3 or 4 days off, would you be okay with that? And they go, hell yeah, man, yeah, go get him, Ross. Go do it. You can go anywhere you want to go. You can stay here. You can go back home to Canada. You can go wherever you want to do. Vegas.
Wow.
He said, oh, go get him. So I went back up and I said, we're in 6 days. I said, but you guys are going to promise me when we get back, you work your butt off to get back into some sort of shape, because 4 days off, you get kind of rusty.
Yeah.
He says, we promise. Wow. So I went up to him and I said, we're in. The guys are going to work their butts off. He goes, oh, Terry. And he looks at me and goes, it's on your head. I said, I'll take the responsibility. I'll take it.
Wow.
So we had 4 days off. The guys came back. They were all fresh. They were so freaking happy. They worked hard for 5 days, 6 days. We went back. We won 4 games in a row.
Oh, nice.
4 games.
That was
4
a great call on your part.
Yeah, and I was going, thank God, because it's not there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been. I'd have been captain down the American League.
This is in Pittsburgh, correct?
Yeah, Pittsburgh. Yeah.
I'm sure Mario Lemieux was happy.
He was very happy. Everybody was happy, man. Everybody had a great time through the time off, and they deserved it. They played hard, and we worked hard, and we were playing well. We were up in the standings, and the guys really appreciated it. But he said, "It's on your head." I'm going, "Okay, boys, we got to do this. Yeah. And we won 4 in a row, so which was awesome. Really good. Two at home and 2 in a row. So
nice.
It was good. Yeah, it was good. Everybody enjoyed themselves. But that's part of it. Being a kind of a mediator between the players and the coach, and also setting up parties. My wife Carol set Christmas parties, Halloween parties. We had some great parties. L.A. We had a party at Johnny Weissmiller, the guy that used to be the Tarzan, the first Tarzan.
Oh,
he had a big mansion, and it was a black tie affair.
Wow.
And we had food served in, and it was friggin' awesome. It was just awesome. We had some great Halloween parties, but we set up the parties for the guys and the team. Had a good time.
That's awesome.
But there's also, the team started doing well. Kind of more pressure on the captain to try to figure out how we can get back on track and get back on the winning ways too.
Yeah,
it wasn't all roses.
You go ahead. Sorry.
It wasn't all roses. There's always the give and take and the ups and downs of being one. But it was prestigious for me. I think it was prestigious to know that the team expected me to help them out and to be a captain and to lead them in the right direction.
Yeah, that's awesome. Wow.
Thank you.
That's really good. I got to ask you this question. Does a captain ever get involved in trades? Does a general manager ever come up to the captain and say, hey, we're thinking of bringing this guy in? Do they ever get you involved? Did you ever have that happen?
No, and I didn't want to.
Okay.
I didn't want to because I felt that everybody on the team were my brothers.
Yeah.
and I didn't want anything bad to happen to him,
Uh huh.
trade or anything else. No, they never come up to me, and I never went up and and propositioned them or told them what I think of
Mm-hmm.
the situation. I think that wasn't part of my job description,
Yeah.
and I didn't want to hurt anybody on my team.
Yeah. That's a good team guy. Definitely. Want to ask you this. So I heard Morris Lukowich mention that you went toe to toe with Dave Semenko, the toughest guy in the league. And
Uh,
so, do you recall that?
I kind of remember that a little bit. It was in Edmonton,
Uh huh.
and so I don't know how it happened, but it was kind of um, it was kind of you looked at me, I looked at you, even though I was much smaller than him. But the thing about it, I knew if I stayed back and throw that way, he was going to kill me because he was a tough guy.
Yeah.
So I got in close. Grabbed his punching arm. I got in close and did what I had to do to try to survive. So it was one of those against the boards, push him against the boards, hold his punching hand, and then try to do what I had to do to survive.
Yeah.
And,
And he
and
was
try to win it. And try to win it.
and he was like 6'3", something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a big sucker. You know what he used to call me, because I used to have the mustache. He used to call me Little Mexican.
Really?
Yeah, and I call him Cement Head Co.
Cemented. uh, and like people don't know that are watching hockey now. Like Semenko is way tougher than any guy in the league today by a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah, yeah.
Like
And
he,
he knew how to fight, and he was a good fighter. He was a tough son of a gun. He had a long reach. He was strong.
yeah.
Yeah, you know.
I, I wanted to tell you, maybe you don't know this, but I saw something where Semenko went up against a professional boxer as an
Wow,
exhibition. I think it was
wow,
Muhammad Ali, but I'm not sure. It was an exhibition, and I found it on YouTube.
wow.
So I'm gonna find. I'll send it to you. So he
Yeah,
did.
please
He
do.
did fight with boxing gloves too, and he
Wow.
was very tough. From what I heard from a lot of players, he was the toughest in the league at that time. Yeah.
Well, he was a tough son of a gun. I remember my father when I was growing up. He used to get on his knees. Of course, we lived in a farm. We had these big mitts to go out there and do chores.
Hmm.
And I was just a young guy, and he'd teach me how to box. And it got to the point where I got a little bit older, and I give him an right overhand, and I cut him above the eye.
Oh.
And then I saw his eyes. He says, "Okay, let's fight." And I'm going, "Okay, I'm done. Homework, homework."
Homework.
I got to do that homework. And I walked away. But it was funny because I cut him right over the eye.
Oh.
I never
Wow.
forget that. And I saw his eyes. He goes, "Okay, let's fight." Nope, I'm done.
Wow. Uh, I want to ask you this: which player today in the NHL reminds of you when you played? Is there
You know,
anybody?
that's a great question. God dang. Hockey's changed so much, Jack.
A lot.
So much. So much.
A lot.
Like, I don't know if there's anybody that would be. I'm thinking if Domi would be a little bit more physical, maybe something along that line, because he's a feisty little sucker. I don't know. I watch the games on my phone on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
I can't sleep at night, so I'll watch the old games against Buffalo or Boston against or Montreal or Chicago against
Mhm.
St. Louis or against Minnesota. Man, they finish their checks. And nowadays, if those hits were made now, the guy that made the check would have to fight somebody.
Yeah,
You know,
it's like
it's
that,
that
like
kind
that
of.
every week.
Yeah, it's that way. So nobody hits anybody, so nobody fights anybody.
Yeah.
So I can't I don't know, Jack. I don't know anybody that I compare myself to.
I've
I
seen you
wasn't a
play,
great.
and I can't think of anybody right now. I mean, well, like maybe what about like a? I'm just not even close to your physicality, but like a Kachuk, maybe any of the Kachucks. I mean, what you've seen them play?
Yeah, I seen him once in a while play. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
the only thing about Kachuk from Florida, he kind of picks his spots. You know who he tangles with.
Uh-huh.
And that part kind of bothers me a little bit. I think if you have a challenge, you got to meet the challenge, whoever it is.
Hmm.
But I think that maybe they do because they're physical. and they're somewhat of leaders too. They perform on the ice. They're physical. They go to the net. Except I wasn't a great goal scorer. I was a good passer, a good setter upper. I set the goals up okay, but I wasn't a great goal scorer. I didn't have that confidence in scoring a whole lot. I'd get the rebounds or deflections, and the odd goal where I'd actually take a slap shot and score a goal. But I wasn't a prolific goal scorer, but I was more of a playmaker than a
Playmakers are good. Team needs.
playmaker.
Yeah.
Playmaker, haymaker, and my grandson's the same way. Like he's playing up in Toronto right now, tournament. He has 2 goals, and he has 3 goals, and he has 6 assists.
Nice.
So he likes to pass, and he's a pretty good little player. He's got to grow a little bit, but he's a pretty good little player.
Those guys make the other players look good too. Like, he's setting people up for goals, and you're doing all the work. I mean, you're getting in the corners and working hard, getting the puck, and it's a dangerous areas that you played in. You weren't just in the slot. You were moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I played with a line in Chicago, which was for each position that we played, it was just natural that we play together. It was called the RPM line. Rich Preston, myself, and Grant Mulvey.
Oh yeah.
Rich Preston was strong along the boards, really strong, and he won the majority of the battles along the boards. All I had to do was yell at him. He either passed me the puck or kicked me the puck. I'd go around the net, and I never looked at Grant Mulvey himself, but I knew his stick. He had a big spatula stick, and all I'd do is I'd give a little mattress pass if he was open, and man, he would shelf it.
Yeah.
Right where Grandma keeps the cookies up top.
Yeah.
and he had the year before Rich and I got there, he had 17 goals, was his highest goals productive he's ever made, and after that we played with him, he had 37 goals.
Wow, that's a big jump.
But that was the combination. Guy strong in the corner, good passer, and a good goal scorer. That was the chemistry that we had that was so successful, and we used it to the best of our ability. So it was good.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you about Connor Bedard. So he's a big player now in the league, and he played in the Western Hockey League. And you coached in the Western Hockey League. My question is, would Connor Bedard would have been able to play back in your time when you were coaching?
I think he would have been. I watched him play on TV, and he's really quick. Stopping, turning, making those passes. I think he'd have been would he have been as successful? Maybe not, because we were pretty physical back in those days. When I finish your checks every time. Finish your checks. Finish your checks. Finish it. That was the key for a lot of success on different teams, and I thought that was success for our team. Finish your checks. Make sure you're in front of them to get back in the play first.
Yeah.
And that was kind of my philosophy. So I don't know if he'd have been as successful. He'd have probably had to play with a guy that's, like Gretzky and Semenko. The guy that kind of protect him, and a guy that could score goals.
Yes.
He'd have to be in that scenario to be as effective or somewhat as effective as he was in the junior ranks. But then again, I haven't seen the junior ranks play in a long time. But back in my era, he'd have probably had to keep his head up a little bit more than he did.
Yeah.
But he's a good. Don't trust me. He's a good player. I saw him stop, turn. The guy stopped, and he just stopped and turned, kept on going. He's got talent.
Yes.
And it is good for us. 5'10". Wow.
Yeah.
And survived the NHL. It's pretty good. He's got pretty good speed. He's got a good shot. Yeah, he's a talented hockey player. Now he's got to get the players to play with him that can complement his game, and then I think he'd be rocking and rolling for sure.
Yeah. Definitely. It's a lot changed though for the last, I would say, 25 years. The game's changed a lot since I think 2004 they really cracked down on the rules. They really took out all and I believe defensively, if you're be able to hold a guy, that's an art. Be able to stop a guy from scoring. You can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
It's so changed so much. And you look back on the games, and when Philadelphia won, they were tough and rough. So everybody wanted to be tough and rough to try to win a Stanley Cup.
Yes.
Then Edmonton came in, and they were wheeling, dealing, crossing. So everybody started wheeling, dealing, and crossing over, coming with speed. And then they go to New York, New Jersey Devils, when they won, it was a trap.
Yes.
Everybody went to the trap. It was just, it was crazy how they changed systems because one team won it, and they all went ahead and changed their system and what they had to do to try to be as successful as the Stanley Cup winners.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Do you think the future of hockey looks good, or what do you think? And with the future,
I go to,
20 years from now?
Yeah, I go to the Dallas Stars games, and it's packed. It's packed on Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. It's packed. Every game is packed. I think the speed is incredible nowadays. Of course, they don't hit anybody, they don't fight, but the speed is incredible. And their passing is. I mean, their sticks are better, their skates are better. Everything's better now. They're lighter, they're faster. They just. I mean, it's.
Yeah.
It's fast. It's a fast sport.
You know, the red line's out too, Terry. Remember when you guys had the red line? If people don't know that are listening, the 2-line pass was a blown whistle. So you couldn't pass across 2 lines. People don't know that. I tell my students, there's a 2-line. So I show them on the board, like you can't pass across 2 lines. It's called a, 2-line pass. They never heard of it. And I think that slowed the game down.
You know what? That's a great point. I forgot all about that. I think it's a great point. And at first I thought that's not, forget about the red line. I said, oh, that's going to hurt hockey. But I think it helped hockey a lot. And I agree with it. I agree with it. I like it. It opens up the game more, and the skilled guys have more of a chance of getting in the puck and making plays and making those passes. I like it now. I didn't like it at the start, but I like it now.
Yeah, a little more collisions and still an open ice, which wasn't as much back then. It was more of a hit. Now today you see a lot of guys collide. It was very different, still happening.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Speaking of playmaking, I mean, we talk about Wayne Gretzky. You played probably against Wayne Gretzky quite a bit. What do you remember about him?
One time in Chicago, my job was to make sure Wayne did not score a goal or have any points.
Wow.
None. So every time he was on, I was like really close to him, and he tried to make fall, and not how he touched me, tried to make a fall draw a penalty.
Yeah.
But the referees, and I told the referees, my job is to guard him. I'm not getting any penalties. I'm guarding the job. He goes, okay, Terry, okay, I understand. But he. You know what? Think about him. He was deceiving. He's deceiving speed. You look at him, you go, geez, he doesn't look he's going that fast. Then you try to catch him and going, holy crap, he's going pretty freaking fast. I can't catch him. And he goes, his shot, it was just like Lemieux. His shot wasn't actually hard, but he always seemed to find, between the legs, over the shoulder, under the arm to score a goal. And I'm going, God, why can't I happen to me like that? Because I don't have a great shot either, and I don't score. Why does it happen to them? But he had deceiving speed in his deceiving shot. But he played. His mind was so much like he knew what you're going to do before you did it.
Wow!
And that was the exceptional part. Like I get the puck and I fake the pass over there. He wouldn't go for it, and he'd try to take the puck away from me, going the other way. He just had the intelligence, the hockey intelligence, and deceiving speed and shot that people didn't recognize. He was like an enemy. He was incredible, like phenomenon. You just want to go, how dickus did he do that? How did he think that I was going to pass there when I knew that I thought I had him? And he takes away the puck on me. Yeah. He was just a great hockey player. His mind is just incredible.
He had a gift, him and Mario Lemieux.
If you had skill wise 1-on-1, Mario was better. Like Mario 1-on-1 would beat you like a drum. He had that long reach, and he put the puck way out there. And the guy would go and he'd bring it right back in. Him and Dennis Savard was 1-on-1. It was just a friggin' nightmare for the defenseman. Just a nightmare.
Yeah, Dennis Savard was amazing. I mean, the way he made those moves and scored on the highlight reel. He went against like 5 Oilers one year. Through everybody.
And here's the other thing about him. Like, he was a talented kid, and fast and talented, hands, and a great kid. I was his roommate. He was a great kid. Wow. So In practice, we used to have to go after practice, go around the ring 4 times, one way, then the next time 4 times the other way. He'd always be in the middle of the pack or the end of the pack. So I finally told him, I said, you know what? If you want to be a great hockey player, you got to do the best you can every shift of every drill that you do. On the ice, off the ice, whatever you have to do, you got to be the best. And I said, with your speed, you got to be first. You can't lag back there and be in the middle of the pack or last. I said, you're a great hockey player. If you want to be a good hockey player, do what you do. And if you want to be a great hockey player, be first in everything you do. He goes, all right, Terry, I understand for sure. So every time we did the drill, he was always first. And I said, that a boy. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. Now you're going to be a friggin' phenomenal player. First, everything you do, be the first. He goes, Terry, thank you. I said, yeah, thank you, buddy.
That's a great teammate. You're a great teammate for doing that. No teammates will really take the time to talk to anybody, something like that, and change them. You know?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he was, and he was just a tremendous hockey player and a tremendous kid. Just well mannered, polite, and a great roommate. Quiet, didn't do anything stupid, didn't go out and drink a whole lot. He's just a good kid. I liked him. A lot.
Yeah. He also used to do the spinorama move.
Yeah, he was famous for that. He was awesome.
Yeah,
he was awesome.
Yeah,
That's
amazing.
He was a good player, good skater.
Quick skater and smooth. Like he was very quick, like good on turns.
Yeah. Here's the thing about him. It'd take me like 5 or 6 strides, 7 strides to get full bore. For him, it would take 2 or 3.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Like 2 or 3 strides and he's going full bore. So it really deceiving for the defenseman or the people that's watching him. He had that quickness. And, all the great players, 2, 3 strides before they're gone.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing. And
it is.
Talking to another guy I wanted to mention, Scott Stevens. Did you were in different divisions, so you probably didn't face him that much.
Yeah, I think we had a scrap one time.
Oh, you went up against him. Wow.
Yeah, I think at one time I went up against him. Did okay. I thought he was a very good leader. I thought he was an ideal defenseman. He took care of his end, but also he came in the rush and he helped the forwards on the rush situation. Yeah. But he was also first one back to play defense. I thought he was a very good leader. I think that he helped his teammates. He always has back. He worked hard all the time. I have a lot of respect for Scott Stevens. I do. Yeah. I thought he was a really good defenseman. And if I was building a team, I'd probably build a team around that type of player that was good defensively, but also contributed on the offense and never got caught in that scenario, and also had everybody's back. I like Scott Stevens as a player. I don't know him as a person, but I liked him as a player. I thought I had a lot of respect for him.
Yeah, he was a powerful body checker. He's known for that. I remember the game 6. I was there and against Anaheim, and you can hear that body check. I was sitting the 4th deck, and you can hear it all the way up there. And I was not near that blue line, the other side, and it was so loud. How hard he hit Korea.
Yeah, he was strong, son of a gun.
Yeah.
Strong on his skates. The guy that he reminded me of, because he's strong on his skates, was Brian Trottier.
Oh yeah.
Like I played with him in Swift Current, but I also played against him when he was playing the Islanders. And I tried to hit him one time. Holy smokes! Like hitting a brick wall. I fell. He stayed up.
He was fast too.
Brian he was. He had a good speed. Yeah, got a good shot. Yeah. An amazing person. Amazing person.
Yeah.
Love the guy. Everything about him was just professional. He did everything right. But his strength on his skates, like his strong skates, he had big legs. And I tried to hit him. And he looked at me and goes, Roscoe, what are you doing? I said, Trust, I don't know. Trying to win a hockey game, I guess. I don't know.
So you guys talked on the ice, even
Oh, a little bit. Yeah. After nowadays, after you play a game, if you're on the road, you jump on a plane, you go home, or you go to the next game. Back in the old days, we traveled commercials, so we had to wait until the next morning to jump on a plane. And I probably usually had, because I was a rookie a lot of times in Chicago, had the middle seat. Which was disgusting. I hate flying, period. I'm still scared of it. But we'd have to fly. So after the game, guys would go out and have a beer and have a sandwich or something. Some guys went out to a nightclub. But I never associated with the other team, because I didn't want to hamper me going to the corners, hitting the guy hard. And if I knew him, had a couple drinks with him after the game, and kind of nice guy to ease up on him because I knew who he was. I didn't want to be in that position. I didn't want to know anybody from the other team because I wanted to play the game that I thought I should play, and that's try to hit him as hard as I can, not to hurt him, but to know that we're there to play and maybe slow him down a little bit.
Pure game. Yeah. I hear you.
Slow him down. Slow him down a little.
Yeah. The biggest difference in your time than today's hockey is that they had 2, 3 enforcers per team.
Yeah.
So not a lot of stuff went on behind the play like it does today. Not a lot.
No. I remember playing in Minnesota, and we had like 5 or 6 tough guys in the team. Toronto had 5 or 6 guys. St. Louis had 5 or 6 guys. I mean, it was crazy. They called it the Chuck Norris division.
He got his own division, Chuck Norris. Wow.
Yeah, Chuck Norris, because all they did was fight. They had such tough guys. But that was part of the game. And I seriously mean, in my day, if you can intimidate a team, you had a great chance of winning.
Yeah, that was
great chance.
I believe in that. And
great chance of winning.
Do you guys never chirped much, right, on the bench, or was there a lot of chirping?
There was guys that chirped. I didn't like to do that. Like to chirp. I just like if we see it's going to happen, it's going to happen. I didn't like chirping a whole lot. Just sometimes I did, but not very often. They chirped to me, and if I had a good comeback, I'd say it back to them. If I didn't, I'd shut up.
I remember the one I saw on YouTube, and I remember watching that game. And I was like little. I had to go to bed early. I was really upset. But you guys were in a brawl against Minnesota, and it was like bench clearing brawl. And the thing, I think it went like 40 minutes. The whole thing, like the fighting.
Do you when I was in Chicago?
No, it was in Minnesota. And it was a brawl. Like you guys fought. Like the whole team was off the bench.
We had one in Chicago.
Was it against the Rangers? That was another one against the Rangers.
I wasn't involved in that one. I couldn't have been involved with the Chicago one. Chicago and Minnesota was one of them in '83. Yeah,
it's on YouTube, and it was probably the biggest brawl I've ever seen.
Yeah, I can't remember that.
You guys had a lot of rivalries in that division.
Boy, did we ever! St. Louis was a big one too.
Yeah,
I think I fought Sutter, their captain, every game.
every game, huh?
I think we fought every game.
Wow.
It was kind of look at each other, go like we always thought it's time. Then we just did it.
So the captains always went against each other to prove a point too, right? That was part of
sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it all depends who's winning and who's losing, who's going to be the aggressor.
Yeah. And there was no what do you call that, instigator? There was none of that.
No, it came in after.
It came in when that commissioner came in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, I don't like the instigator because I believe that if you take it out, it's a lot better. People are not going to pull stuff off,
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. Terry, I want to thank you so much for coming on and talking to me on my channel. It's awesome. Yeah. Great stories.
Yeah, Jack, it's been a pleasure. And it's nice to reminisce a little bit. Down in Texas, you don't find a whole lot of people that can talk hockey about. But it's nice to talk and reminisce a little bit about old times. And I appreciate you calling me and putting me on your station. Thank you, buddy.
Absolutely. You're welcome. Thank you. And have a great weekend.
Yeah, and belated Happy New Year to you, too.
Happy New Year, too. You too.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Bye, Jack.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Jack.
Thanks.